I'm Emma Curtin, host of a new true crime podcast called Murder Archives. It's set in Toorak in 1929 about the murder of Norma Reese MacLeod. Search for Murder Archives where you're listening right now.
Hi, before we start the show, my name's Courtney and I'm one of the producers on Somehow Related. I've just finished a series. It's called Scale Up. It's about startup companies, and you can hear the trailer at the very end of this episode.
We had Halloween the other night, and we've done it before with the kids, but we've made a thing we're not going to do it now because, I mean, I love the kids walking around dressing up, but just so much sugar, and the lollies they bring home, they're not good lollies.
Oh, so your kids went and got the stuff?
No, they didn't do it. And my daughter cracked the sads because, you know, when you're 12, that's what you want to do. You want to dress up with your friends and walk around and eat sugar.
Yeah.
But the lollies that you would bring back were all like, they're not Allen's lollies. You know, if they were good quality lollies that I bring back that I could eat.
Did you do the right thing and eat them all for them?
I ate them all in the old days. But no, we said, look, we'll go for dinner and have an ice cream instead. And also the kids that knock on your door, there's some really rude little shits. We had, man, these kids grab. Do you do it when people knock on your door, or?
Yeah, and the kid was grabbing at it, and the mother stands at the end of the
driveway or whatever,
and the kid's at the door, and then the kid's just grabbing handfuls. Hey, whoa, take it easy.
But do you put up a pumpkin or a ghost that people know, or they just randomly knock on your door?
Slowly came home and drew on a mandarin, and put a face on a mandarin.
Face on a mandarin,
which means that we're small time. We're not big time.
So how many kids knocked on your door?
Not that many.
That's good.
There were large groups of, I would say, too old to be wandering around.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what Kira, so we were driving around because, you know, the kids are spotting their friends and that, and on the way to dinner.
Very confident.
Like, those kids are too old, and they're the ones that grab a handful. Yeah. I had a kid come to the door last year just wearing a motorcycle helmet. That was his costume, and I'm like, mate, you're not robbing a 7-Eleven, all right? And then another kid came to the tough kids came with no costumes, trick or treat. I'm just like, you don't have a costume on.
Yeah,
on a nude costume.
We'll break up the house if you don't give us one.
So I'm not doing it.
Remember that when you used to go for rides, if you are taller than they'd marked how tall you had to be on the ride?
Yes.
If we should do that at the front of the house.
Halloween, you're right.
You know, if you are taller than this, you can't. There's no lollies for you.
No, buggy up.
Yeah.
Oh, and the kids are like, I bet you did Halloween when you were growing up. No, we didn't. It did not exist when we were growing up.
No. And if you were. I don't even know what Halloween is. Is it some pagan thing, is it?
Well, that's what people always say. People say, it's American, and they go, but it's actually got Celtic roots. Yeah, but it's been made American. It's an American thing. You got to say it's an American tradition. It's not a Celtic tradition, really. I mean, sure, it started off as that. But as I said to the kids, I don't think the Celtics were dressing up as, you know, Shrek and walking the streets asking for lollies. They were probably having a fire and eating some soup or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see some with a wooden stake through their heart. I mean, I want the real deal if they're going to be, you know, just some kid with a skeleton mask on.
Yeah, oh man, the costumes, come on.
More blood. I want more blood.
We saw kids dress up as Hulk and Shrek. I mean, it's not Halloween, guys.
Yeah. Oh, but they're so cute. Yeah, not really.
Not really. Oh, there's the music. Enough of us.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to Somehow Related, and now please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Welcome to the podcast, Somehow Related. This might be a quick one because we're in a studio that's very hot. So
it's a brand new studio,
and we're melting
all
down.
the nearly people are here, and I think we might be one of the first. We're the canary in the coal mine.
It is like a coal mine because coal mines are quite hot apparently when you get down there. I've been in a coal mine. Have I? No, a gold mine.
Did you watch your head? Did you go? Did you have a helmet on?
Did we? No. It was Sovereign Hill. Hey, but in Sovereign Hill, as you would know, because one of your brothers used to work there.
He used to run the hotel, correct?
Did he have to dress up in ye olde clothing?
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Once a month, he'd have to do the thing where he loved it. He was the he was the principal.
He was the schoolmaster.
Yeah, and you could pay and you could be in the class, and then he would come in and tell you off for not doing your homework correctly.
Oh, really?
And then he would have to leave there and pick his own kids up from school in costume. And these kids used to get really embarrassed because they've been picked up by some weird old guy in what period would that be? 18?
It's the gold rush, 1850s, sort of around that period, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, there's probably some clothes I still wear that are 1850s. But anyway, But he loved it. He really enjoyed it. He loved the role playing.
Well, I've said it before. Sovereign Hill is actually a really good tourist attraction.
I
love it.
You've told me that before.
I've taken my European cousins and because my brother lives in Switzerland. He's got Swiss kids. They love it. They love it. The funny thing is when we pan for gold, a Chinese guide found some gold because they put gold flecks in the river and you pan for gold.
So they.
And he goes like this.
It's peppered. Is that what we call?
And so there's all like Anglo-Saxon kids. There's one Chinese guy. And he goes, "Gold! I found gold!" And everyone's like, "Oh my god, we're not gonna have it's not gonna be a racist riot, is it? A racial riot?" But anyway, they found an actual mine under Sovereign Hill, which is now you can go into it as an attraction. It's an actual mine. It was a working gold mine. Yeah, not one they've made. A real gold mine.
Yeah, there's quite a few still around in that region.
Oh yeah,
where there's still people who are tinkering.
Yeah, there's still gold on those hills. Gold on their hills.
Yoo-hoo! Woohoo!
Okay, should we go to topics?
Why were we talking about that?
I have no idea why we're talking about Sovereign Hill.
Sam's thinking the same thing.
What are they talking about? Was that one of our topics, Sovereign Hill? Sovereign Hill and Glenn Robbins' brother. What's the connection? I used to work there.
You did. Not anymore.
No, fair enough. He's moved on. You got to move on in life.
He's doing well.
So we get two topics. They're not. Are they related? We don't know.
Well, you wouldn't think that they are.
You know why we're talking about it? Because it's hot in here, like a gold mine,
right?
Like a coal mine. We were canaries in a coal mine.
Oh, there you go. You rest your case, Your Honour. Yeah, you've DNA'd it. Well done.
It's going to be a quick podcast because it's hot, but we've got two topics.
I'm getting a bit dizzy.
Yeah, you've got to work out how they're related. Let's get the topics.
Birdseye and Eskimos.
Birdseye. Do you eat frozen food, Glenn Robbins? Are you a fan of frozen food?
Depends what you call frozen food. Do we go to the frozen food section of the...
yeah. Well, what do you have in your freezer? Do you have frozen... Because, I look at the frozen food...
Do you know the joke? Sorry, can I just do that joke?
Yeah, on.
My wife was leaning over the freezer the other night and I couldn't help but take it from behind. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, and the other guy goes, "Oh, wow. Was it good?" He goes, "Yeah, but we got thrown out of the supermarket."
It's a classic.
It's a classic. Sorry, but it's on topic. As I always say, if a joke is on topic...
It's fine.
It's fine. So do I eat frozen food? I will lean towards eating meals home meals, our own meals that we're frozen. The only ones that we would have would be not unlike fish fingers, but the high-end fish finger.
You have frozen fish fingers in your fridge?
No, not fish fingers. Where it's like John Dory.
Oh, fillets.
Fillets.
Okay.
But they come in a box.
Yeah, I understand.
With batter, yeah.
I don't have any of that stuff.
Okay.
But what frozen vegetable do you reckon I've got in my freezer? I reckon this is the most common frozen vegetable.
The most common frozen vegetable?
Oh, come on. But they're green and they're little.
Beans.
Peas. No, you're not going to have frozen beans, are you?
I'm embarrassed that I
frozen
didn't know.
peas must be, because you know what? I reckon frozen peas taste better than fresh ones. Because they're I don't want to do an ad for Edgel or Birdseye, but I think they are pretty much frozen straight away. I'm pretty much sure there's guys picking them and just chucking them in the freezer.
And what do you, if you got a black eye, would you use a packet of peas?
Definitely, I've used it on my leg when I had a sore leg. I've used frozen peas, but they're the only frozen vegetable I buy. But I know there's mums at school and dads that go to me, "Oh yeah, my kids will only eat frozen vegetables," and so they buy those packets of cauliflower, corn.
Yep. And they just pour them straight into the boiling water.
Yeah, yeah. Which
no, my mum we used to buy them for my mum, but we don't do that. We just
fresh.
We leave them in the tray and then throw them out about a week later. No, we don't throw much out. I must admit, we're pretty good. Yeah,
the crisper or the soggy. It makes vegetables go soggy.
Embarrassed I didn't know frozen peas. That's terrible.
Oh, that's all right. It's just.
If I'm ever on a quiz show, I'll now remember frozen.
What's the
peas.
most common frozen vegetable sold in the supermarket?
Yeah, that would be on Family Feud.
Yeah, let's go to the board.
And I would have gone. I went potatoes.
Oh no, potatoes not.
No.
This is the problem. I've been on Family Feud several times, and
what? Sorry,
I've been on it several times.
You've been on it?
Yeah, with my real family and with comedians twice, I think.
On the recent?
No, well, yes, with Grant, and then I also went on with Bert Newton hosting it. My family versus Fiona Loughlin's family, and they beat us. And then the second time around versus when Grant Daniel, again I was against Fiona Loughlin and her sister, and they beat us again. Well, did I never tell you this? So we went on with my family versus Bert Newton. So it was me, my brother Mark, his wife Heather, and my dad Kev, right?
Yeah.
Versus Fiona, her then husband Chris, her daughter, and her sister Emily Tahini. Anyway, so the question that I get, what's the thing you do when you go out on a date? But what do you do before you go out on a date, Glenn? What's the thing you do? One of the things you do before you go on a date, Glenn?
Clean your teeth.
That's what I said. Brush your teeth. Bert, let's go to the pick of the board. Number 1, brush your teeth. There goes my brother, Mark. What's the thing you do before you go out? He goes, brush your teeth. And you can see me like a brother going, I said that. I just said that, you idiot. And Bert's like, no, we can't take that back. It's already up there, mate. You can't have another go.
That's great.
Anyway, then Fiona went on to beat us. So
I was on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, wow.
And you know why I did it? I thought...
Just to go on it.
Well, no, because I thought it'd be fun to have a free weekend in Adelaide because they showed it in Adelaide. How sad is that?
A fun weekend in Adelaide.
And-
Hang out with Adriana.
And it gets even better. Adriana.
She passed away, sadly,
but
she was part of...
But the interesting thing was that I checked into my hotel and they checked me into a room that was already occupied.
What?
So there were clothes in the cupboard. There
Oh
were
my
things.
God. How Adelaide.
Yeah. And then I realised, as I'm looking at the clothes, I went, this is Yahoo Serious's room.
What? You were in Yahoo Series?
in Yahoo
There were the overalls of the suspenders.
Yeah, I could tell by the coloured shirts. And I think he was meant to be on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. I'm hanging out with the big dudes.
Whatever happened to Yahoo Series?
Whatever happened to you? I looked it up the other day. He's not doing that much. Sam, what...
No, he works. He does a job.
Does he?
I'm sure Yahoo Serious is like not a yoga instructor, but something like that, or makes furniture or that kind of thing.
Well, can we ask Sam?
Sam, what does Yahoo Serious do these days?
Australian comedian Yahoo Serious is currently living in Avalon Bay, New South Wales. He apparently doesn't work a 9-to-5 job but has business interests and is believed to be still producing for TV or film.
Well, he seems to be living a nice life anyway.
Up at Avalon Beach.
Oh, beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
That's where we shot. I think that's where we shot Lantana.
Were you in Lantana? Yeah, I know you were in Lantana.
Here it is. Here, look. Sam's onto it. So
remember we had the argument what actor was in Lantana with you, and we couldn't remember who it was. I know Anthony LaPaglia was, and Jeffrey Rush was in it. Oh, yep. Newsworthy. Did he? Anyway, let's not go there.
We can't say anything.
We can't say anything.
You wouldn't say anything
no,
about
wouldn't
that.
Say anything.
No, I wouldn't say anything about that. But it's not. The bottom line is no winners out of that.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And but you know what? One of my friends said, who used to work for that newspaper. They will go hard and long and spend a lot of money. He will. Sounds like he's going to in for the long run too. But they're a newspaper.
But will it not come down to his word against hers?
Yeah, but they'll get a dirt file on. The newspaper will bring up some sort of dirt file or something. You watch on Jeffrey. Yeah, they'll bring up stuff. Look at other witnesses, won't they? Anyway, that's not what you're talking about. We wish them all the very best and hopefully that there's a good. We won't get a good outcome. We don't know. But your court case is coming up soon. I'll be there supporting you.
Let's not talk about that. But don't worry.
Glenn's got no court case coming up. All right.
Don't worry. I reckon a few people out there were
they'd be worried.
Going through their files, thinking, "Geez, was that an appropriate joke I made that day?
Yeah.
Was that wrong? Should I have done that?" Anyway,
it can be hard.
What are we talking about?
One of my friends just got asked to do a gig for a charity, and they sent an email saying, "And please, no non-PC jokes, sexism, racism, language," and they had just a whole list of can't do's on the night.
Got to be woke.
He looks at his routine and goes, "Well, I got nothing left." Not that he has any racist stuff, but it's like, I mean, I did a gig for the Soccer Federation, and the guy goes, "Oh, look, last year we had a comic that said Fungula to the audience, and some of the committee got offended, and so could you not do any racist?" I said, "Well, I don't do racist." "Well, can you not, for example, talk about your wife?" What? I'm like, well, what? But I do talk about
wife?
her. But yeah, I know. I'm saying, I'm a middle-aged man. Of course I'm going to talk about marriage and kids, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe avoid those topics. What am I going to talk about? Anyway, I went out there, and it was in the western suburbs of Melbourne in sunshine in a reception room. There were 600 blokes, and I just went, nah, fuck, I don't give a shit.
Oh, you went for it?
Yeah, went for it. And the guy goes up, "Oh, that was great."
Yeah, it's covering his...
Anyway,
We could talk about things that have been said before gigs that you shouldn't do, then you end up doing. And
yeah.
I get sent a list of jokes to say to the audience by a corporate, and then I said them, and they go, "Oh, we were offended by what you said." I went, "You told me to say it."
Yeah.
Oh, I just have to say it because upstairs wasn't happy. Well, talk to upstairs before you talk to me.
Yeah. Exactly. And
You told me
also,
to say it.
the classic one, have a go at Gary about his drinking. It's really,
yeah.
and then Gary's an alcoholic and he starts crying or something.
Yeah.
You're like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What's going on? No, big on Gary.
Yeah.
And he's drinking. Anyway, there are some classic ones. I had a guy in a golf club, because golf clubs, as you know, you play golf, and they're pretty happy with themselves.
Very, very much so.
And I always ask, who's been divorced? You know, and okay, who's been divorced more than once? There was a guy who was onto his fifth wife. And I said, at wife number 4, did you think to yourself, maybe I'm the problem?
If they had maps, like, you know how they have maps of, like, where things are you're more likely to see, like the red part is where you're more likely to, they'd be all over the golf clubs, more likely to see divorce.
Pretty big in golf clubs?
Yeah, very much so.
More so than footy clubs, probably.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, frozen foods.
Frozen foods. I mean, frozen foods, it must have been a great innovation when it first started. Because, you know, most fish and prawns and stuff that we eat, and I know you love your seafood, would be frozen. Because they take it, they catch it, and they chuck it straight into the freezer, don't they?
What about freezer burn, though? That's something I've only... What is your freezer burn time? I think, how long can you leave a fish or meat in the... Sam, how long can something remain frozen for before it goes off? It gets burned, so I don't know whether it goes off or it's just not very edible.
I'd say
3 months?
Yeah, different for different types of meat.
Sam?
Fish can be kept frozen in the freezer for up to 3 months.
So that's not long.
Red meat would be a bit longer.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, red meat. What red meat? How long can you put red meat in a freezer? Yeah, you got beef. You could keep it for a year, I reckon.
Red meat, depending on the type, can last between 3 and 12 months.
Meat is the big winner. Because I got to say, I reckon if you went to most freezers, they would have party pies.
Party pies, yes, very good. We got party pies, I reckon, in ours. And we've got some minced meat, probably.
Yep.
We've got ice cream.
Spaghetti bolognese, probably.
Yeah, bolognese.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what? I still have to defrost my fridge. I don't know.
I've had that too. What do? You unplug it and just go put towels out?
Yeah, and leave it over. I leave it overnight because I used to chip away at the ice like an ice man.
Just leave it overnight and it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But you got to throw everything out, obviously. But it's good every now and then because then you get down the bottom, you go, what is this? It's like a CSI bloody episode, isn't it? Yeah. There's bits of body parts down there. You're going, is this Jeffrey Dahmer's body? Yeah. What is that?
He was fond of putting people in the freezer.
Their heads, wasn't it?
Oh, it was awful. It's awful.
Hey, can I get myself a Coke? Sure. Jeez, your
freezer's stacked up. Okay, for frozen foods, we're not huge fans of frozen food, but it is a great invention. It's a great invention, the freezing of food, I reckon. Because before then, everything had to be fresh, which is good in a way, but not good for...
Because it does lock... Do you think that it loses anything? Because it locks it in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Surely.
I find with mincemeat and that, it's fine.
You just get the feeling that if you're eating something that's been frozen for a while, you kind of wonder, you go, has the goodness gone out of this?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, these are the things you'll know.
Okay, well, there's the other one, Inuits. Well, I don't know.
That's a term that I don't...
Eskimos.
Yeah, I realise, but how long has it... Have they... I mean, I know they've always been there, but...
Oh, man, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I realise, but the term Inuit, have you known that for a long time?
No, but when we were taught in high school, it would have been Eskimos.
Yeah, but some Eskimos like still being called Eskimos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the
ones that invented Eskimo pies?
Sam. Am I right in saying that the Eskimos from Greenland like to remain to be called Eskimos, and they don't necessarily want to be called, because they all see themselves as Native
American Canadians.
Yeah,
Greenland's totally separate though. That's like near, Denmark used to govern Greenland. Greenland was called Greenland. This is a fact. Greenland was called Greenland by the Vikings as a marketing tool to get people to settle there.
And it wasn't green.
Apparently it's not green. There's a lot of ice in Greenland, I think. Are they smart?
Sam,
Eskimo is considered a pejorative term in many places because it was given to Inuit people by non-Inuit people and is said to mean...
Do they get podcasts in Greenland?
Yeah, they have podcasts in Greenland. Of course they
if
would.
there's someone in
and
Greenland
Alaska.
who's listening, that maybe they could drop us a line. What if they're Eskimos or Inuits? What would they prefer to be called?
Don't say drop us a line to an Inuit because they'll think you're talking about fishing, all right? Okay.
Oh, stupid. Yes, of course.
Look, I don't know much about them, but I've seen those documentaries, and they live like it. It's an amazing.
Incredible.
Well, they have igloos, and they light fires in them,
Yeah.
which goes against you. Go, why would you light a fire
How does
in
it
something
work?
made out of ice? But it works.
On the ice.
Yeah, on the ice. It's incredible.
You would think that it would melt.
Yeah, you would think it would melt.
But they're so clever with their design that they can sit in there and no problem at all.
But I assume with the Eskimo thing is that they were just sick of the stereotype of the big hat, you know, like on the front of an Eskimo pie. Now that's probably seen as a racist image, I assume. You know, like of them as the
Eskimo
traditional
pie.
Remember Eskimo pies?
That was okay. They don't exist anymore. I
No,
reckon
they do.
were. They do.
Yeah, you can still get them.
Hang on. Was there an Eskimo pie? Was that the one in the tube? Is that just a piece of vanilla ice cream covered in chocolate?
Yeah, in a foil packet. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I was thinking the one in between the two wafers. That wasn't. So it's in the chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate covered vanilla ice cream. I know the wafer one, but I can't remember what it's called.
Ice cream sandwich.
The
Ice cream sandwich, Sam.
Yeah.
I reckon Sam would love an ice cream
So
sandwich.
she'd love it.
Pretty hard to eat though, the ice cream sandwich,
Hard to
because
eat.
But Eskimo pie also. Lucky you had the foil packet there.
Because it used to melt.
Yep.
It used to melt.
I've got to say, Eskimo pie
Oh,
up there.
good stuff.
Well, how do they call it a pie? That's not really a pie.
I think that's an old American term.
Eskimo
I think
pie.
it's a pie. Yeah, you're right. I've never thought about that.
Could be Eskimo bar.
Eskimo bar. Well, you know they call Monaco bars, which are very similar. They're a wafer ice cream biscuit thing, and they're always called Monaco bars. It's interesting.
Yeah, just that meeting. They finished up that meeting pretty. Okay, I got a new ice cream. What do you want to call it? Eskimos. Eskimos. There you go.
Eskimo pie.
Okay, that's done. Let's go to lunch. Yep.
Would you, if you were to go live with like a indigenous culture, who would you choose?
Oh, that's a very good question.
This is something that I haven't considered myself, but I don't know if I'd go with the Inuits. I just reckon it'd be too cold.
Yeah, no, I'd go with the Native Americans. And what do they call those sweat lodges? They have sweat
They
lodges.
have sweat lodges. Yeah.
And well, people have. But that seems like a bit. If you can stand it, bit of fun that one.
In the sweat lodge.
Yeah.
But don't you lose your mind? Do they give you a bit of peyote or something, and you, which is like LSD from a
I
cactus?
saw a documentary where people were dropping like flies inside.
In a sweat lodge.
Yeah. And a few of them went, and then they tried to get out quickly, and then there was this. Oh, I don't know.
What about an African tribe? What about living as an African tribe?
Yeah, but you got the animals.
Oh, yeah, the animals. Yeah, but they know what to do. This girl I went to high school with married a tribesman. I saw her on Facebook. She goes back there and back and forth all the time. She married I can't remember which tribe, but yeah, pretty amazing story. I don't know. Yeah, I think Native Americans, because we have that notion of what it would be like, but it probably, or anyone who's living that lifestyle, it would be hard yards.
I agree.
It'd be really hard. Getting up, hunting, gathering.
Well, you know, in those communities that the mental illness is from what I believe. I don't quote me on this, because they're so physical with what they have to do every day. They don't get caught in their head, so they don't. They work with their hands. So therefore, at the end of the day, they feel they're released.
Fulfilled. They feel fulfilled, and then
yeah.
and then of course white people turn up and ruin it. You know what I mean? And then it gave them alcohol and disease.
Which with the white flour and the sugar, not bad.
Oh yeah. We spend too much time thinking.
That's right. We sit around and think, and our bodies fall. Rather than getting out and bending your back and getting a bit of a sweat up and going, I've earned to sit down and maybe have a little bit of.
Maybe we should, did you read that article in the paper about the Amish people in Tasmania? There's an Amish community.
Yes, no, I didn't.
Maybe we should go join them. Just
Well, you and I.
Well, I think it'd be a bit weird.
Do they have podcasts? Would they get?
They don't have podcasts. They have
surely they have podcast day.
They go to the local library.
Ah, right.
They go to the local library and get on the internet and talk to other Amish communities.
There you go. Yeah.
So if someone could let them know in Tasmania, Glenn and Dave were talking about them, because they weren't Amish. They'd certainly be aware of you from your work on TV, So
No,
I
they
reckon.
wouldn't.
No, yeah, they weren't always Amish. They were just Christians in
okay.
New South Wales.
So
So,
they were-
surely
yeah.
Amish dads sitting at home at night kicking back to a bit of Russell Coight or something.
I tell you where I did get invited.
Yeah,
Antarctic. Hang on, which is the one down south?
Antarctica.
Antarctica. I got invited to go down there for the winter
Solstice.
Yeah,
Why didn't you go?
because it's really hard to get there. It's like a
You've got
plane,
to get a boat. Yeah,
and then you got a boat, and then it's kind of once you're in there, you don't get out quick. You got it's a bit of a deal. So it's quite a long. But we did talk about we're thinking about, but they were Russell Coight fans, and they'd done a Russell Coight video. So I did one for them I did a Russell Coight video.
Fantastic!
For them. It was good. It was exactly what we were talking about before, where they sent me all the things that because they're all in a community together, obviously, and they just sent me a list. I said, send me a list of all the annoying things that everyone does, and then Russell Coight got up and just said, look, it's going well. Here's a few things you might want to think about. Like the guy who works in the veggie thing, he talks to his plants. Another guy's always talking about his dog. Another one's always talking about his kids. Another one's always doing weightlifting. And it just had to bring it up. And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, right. Great.
So I only got friends down there. So now I've got some friends. Hopefully.
Imagine though if that video set off like a riot. After the Russell Coight video, there was a riot. One man was murdered, several injured in Antarctica.
But they're putting an airstrip down there, which won't be there until because there's one
airstrip somewhere in Antarctica.
Yeah, but it only works in summer.
Okay.
Where they're putting one, I think it might be Casey, or it might be the other one.
Okay.
Where it'll work all year round, and it'll be a proper one.
When I was on radio,
2020,
we gave away a trip to the Antarctica, but it was one of those trips where you just fly over.
Yeah.
And I went on it.
How was it?
Oh, it was long. I could have been in LA by the end of it. That's what the host.
So how long did it take to get down there?
10 hours. It's 5 hours there and back.
And how long did you have over it?
Oh, I don't know, half an hour. But you could see the pilot flew right, and you could see some of the huts and stuff. You could see, so he goes, there's Shackleton's shack and stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He just picked out someone.
Oh, really?
He's just gone.
Okay.
That's some sort of pumping
And then
thing.
on the way back, one of the hosts, he goes, oh, yeah, I mean, this is really... We stopped doing these for a while because there was that incident with the New Zealand plane. I'm like...
What?
What incident with the New Zealand plane? Similar sightseeing trip, hit a mountain, killed everyone. Yeah, famous incident. Like, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years ago, something like that.
Hit an iceberg, obviously.
No, it hit a mountain in Antarctica. It got really... On a sightseeing trip to Antarctica, it hit a mountain and everyone died.
Surely if you're the pilot, isn't that the first thing you're looking out for?
Yeah, mountains.
Isn't it kind of... Would that be at pilot school? That'd be like... First
Number
thing...
one.
Number one, don't
Yeah.
hit one of these.
But, it gets... If you
It's foggy.
It gets foggy and, it's tough, I think, for being a pilot. I don't know. Anyway.
Anyway, look...
We need some thinking music.
Oh, yeah. Now, listen. I reckon... Is it the Eskimos that do the throat singing? Do they do...
I think they do, yeah. I think you might be right. Or they're monks, aren't they? They do that too. But I think Eskimos do it as well. Or, do they?
Or was there something else? Or do you want to hear an Edgel's commercial?
No, I'll hear some throat singing. Quite
Oh,
happy
but
to
maybe
hear
an
that.
old... Is there...
What is Inuit music? They must have a form of music.
It'll be something
Throat
like
singing.
that. Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear a bit of that. I'd love to hear a bit of Inuit music. Wow. Okay, there we go.
I mean, I wouldn't close with it.
You could join that band.
If there was a theatre restaurant... Say if you went to a wedding
Yeah.
and then they...
Do a bit
Look,
of
don't
throat.
get me wrong. I think it's fascinating.
Interesting, isn't it?
But could you sing along to it?
No, I
Could
wonder
you
if
do
there's
a
hits.
Could you do a karaoke version of that?
I don't know. What do they have number one hits? Oh, that's... Or there'd be someone who's really good at it in their community too. That would be a bit of a rock star. That's, Sean, the
that's a
throat
good thing
singer.
for your kids to do. Just go, and then you tap them on the throat. And then the kids start crying, and then they all go to bed.
Oh, so what are you thinking? Birdseye and Inuits?
Well, it's frozen food, and it's people who live in a cold climate.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
got to be something along the line of the guy from Edgel's,
Birdseye.
Birdseye,
Birdseye's a competitor, I think. Yeah.
was on a holiday. No. But he already knew about it.
No, I reckon. Yeah, Birdseye. I reckon Birdseye must be a family name. Because when you look at the packet, you can still buy Birdseye frozen vegetables. Surely that's a family name, Birdseye. It's not a bad name for a
How's
brand.
it spelt?
Just Birdseye.
But to me, that sounds like bird's eye.
like someone's made it up.
Yeah. And there's a,
Well, I reckon
there's a bird on there, isn't there?
Yeah, I reckon Mr. Birdseye. I reckon his name was Colin or
Birdseye.
Graham Birdseye.
Yeah.
Was maybe he's part Inuit, and that's how he knew about freezing food. That's what I'm going to say. What do you?
Because maybe we need to go with the same one because I just think they were watching them because they were watching them do it and they've gone.
Great idea.
Great idea. Food parcels in a box that you can put in the freezer. That's not, but I'm not confident.
Okay, Sam. What is the?
In the early 1900s, Clarence Birdseye was taught by Inuit people how to fish under very thick ice at extremely low temperatures. He found that fish froze almost instantly. He found the fish froze almost instantly at the extremely low temperatures and when thought they still tasted fresh. In the early 20s, he created a refrigeration technique that froze fish very quickly with cold air at minus 43 degrees Celsius. Other freezing methods at the time were slow to freeze, giving ice crystals more time to grow. When the ice crystals for fluid from the damaged tissue legs after cooking, the fish is mushy and dry. Had he not lived with the Inuit people, he would not have created the technique.
Well, you basically got it right because you said there was a bloke called Birdseye.
Yeah.
And what was his first name?
Clarence.
Clarence Birdseye. Clarence, what are you doing? I'm going to go spend some more
Spend time with the Inuits. 3 years with the Inuits. And you learn about frozen food.
And how big would the frozen food industry be now? I mean,
Massive.
you think about the supermarket, that's a long walk down the frozen food section.
That's a fifth of the supermarket. And did the Inuits get any of the money? No.
And they invented it.
They invented it. They helped Clarence invent it.
And it's all to do with the speed of and then the transporting of. What a terrific idea.
What? God, good on you, Clarence. Good on the Inuits.
Good on the... Oh.
Thanks for listening to Somehow Related.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
You ever fish on the ice?
Well, that was part of the deal. If I was to go down for the...
you're going to fish on the ice?
No. There where they cut a hole in the ice and you got to jump in. I mean, as you know... I think you could have a heart attack.
That's what I worry about.
I know Hamish Blake. I saw Hamish Blake do it, and he didn't look good afterwards. If you only went in for like 2 or 3 seconds, I think you maybe be okay. But I was in anyway. Yeah,
Remember when I was in Coffs Harbour with you, and we went for a swim? It was so cold. I reckon I've been swimming at Lorna. I reckon I've nearly had a heart attack there. So imagine the Antarctica. Maybe I can't have a heart attack in Lorne or Coffs Harbour, but I reckon cold water can just shock you, can't it?
It can, yeah. But you know why it's good for you? Because it builds your immune system, and you'll feel good afterwards because there's a blood rush to the organs. Because they have, for mental illness they have shock treatment.
Yeah, right.
Where what you're doing to your brain is kind of, please don't me up if you're a psychiatrist.
Do this at home.
Don't do it at home. But if you it's kind of like rebooting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know someone who's had it done.
Yeah, and
recommends it.
Yeah,
said it's good.
Yeah, but you do lose a little bit. I think
you lose.
Yeah, lose a bit.
Have you heard that joke about the Canadian guy who moves to Melbourne and he's really missing fishing on the ice?
No.
Have you heard this one?
No.
So he's really missing fishing on the ice, and he gets drunk at a pub, and he's like, "I want to fish on the ice," and he walks all over Melbourne, and suddenly because he keeps talking to God, "Please show me where's some ice. I want to fish on the ice." And finally, he finds some ice, and he starts drilling a hole in it. And then he hears a voice, and he goes, "Please do not drill in the ice." And he goes, "Oh my God, is it you, God?" And he goes, "No, I'm the manager of the skate rink."
Classic topic, classic. Love it.
Ice skating. So cold.
I can see why you asked me that question, though. That was good because you had the callback.
Had the callback.
That's right.
Anyway, we look forward to Russell Court going down to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks for listening to this episode of Somehow Related. Here's the trailer for Season 2 of Scale Up.
And we listed the business in May of 2016.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Max Cunningham. I'm the General Manager of Listings and Issuer Services, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all here today for the listing ceremony for Redbubble. Redbubble is a fast-growing online marketplace with a global community of artists, designers and customers. You've demonstrated such a business is very attractive to investors, and it's particularly exciting for the ASX.
This was the MD report from December 2008. Redbubble continues to experience scaling challenges in accounting, customer service, community management, hosting and fraud control. These scaling challenges have significantly curtailed our ability to invest in marketing or sales-related activities.
It's a logistical nightmare.
I, for a period of time, was the mail distribution for Europe.
I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen if I can't retrieve all this information?
Is that it? Is that Redbubble? It's like, yep, one rack. That's the entire world that I've sort of been living in.
The moment you told them you're doing some work for Redbubble, the phone would get slammed in your face. So you don't have ready access as you might have in some other industries where you can ring competitors and talk to them.
The first Christmases, everybody did customer service, including Martin.
And then they'd frame it and put it up on the wall. I'm an artist. They wouldn't actually even cash the things. So we had all these uncashed checks.
Scale Up Season 2 from Launch Vic is almost here, and it's all about Redbubble. ASX-listed on-demand products, 3-sided global marketplace, founded and headquartered right here in Melbourne. If you haven't heard the first series on Culture Amp, check it out now while we finesse the coming season. Redbubble is a huge story, and we're jamming in as much as we can over the 8 episodes, but there might be a bonus 1 or 2 with all the interviews we've done.
Martin drew this diagram where he drew a little white circle in the middle, and he said that's the art, and then a big pale blue circle on the outside, which was massive, and he said that's the community. And I didn't quite get it at the start, but he was right. The art builds the community, and then all of a sudden it became a massive community of artists.
Most recently I was like, so what's changed? What's the difference? It's like nothing's changed. They just get it now.
I noticed that you have updated your LinkedIn profile.
Yes, I have.
What does it say?
It says CEO designate.
If you're a startup founder or thinking about a startup in Victoria, maybe investing in a Victorian startup, find great information about the landscape from launchvic.org. There are links in the show notes too, so check those out. Subscribe to Scale Up on your favourite podcast app and expect episode 1 of season 2 about Redbubble very soon.
Now, Redbubble has the capabilities to do an enormous number of things, but our choice about what we do is not defined by what we can do, but by what we should do.